All right, let's dive into a really powerful idea today. This concept that every single choice we make, whether it's big or small, literally helps create our future. We're going to use a simple metaphor to unpack the deep connection between our actions and where they lead. So, yeah, let's get our hands dirty and start digging in. So, let's start with a quick question for you. Just think for a second. Have you ever made a choice and the result was, well, just not what you expected at all? I think we've all been there, right? That feeling of surprise, or maybe even a little bit of regret. That's really at the heart of what we're talking about today.
Okay, so this brings us to a really cool way of looking at it. Imagine for a second that your life is a garden, and every decision you make, every word you say, is basically a seed that you're planting. The big question then becomes, what kind of garden are you actually growing?
Every harvest, it starts with just one seed. So to really get a handle on this garden of our life idea, we've got to start with the seed itself, the choice. What is it really? Well, it's that one powerful moment where a future outcome gets put into motion. When you boil it all down, a decision is beautifully simple. It's a choice, made after thinking. It's not just some random impulse. It's that moment of thought, however brief, that comes right before the action. That right there, that's the seed. But of course, a seed can't grow without soil. And in our little metaphor here, the soil is all about our reasons, the why behind our choices. It's the context in our internal drivers that either nurture our choices or, well, let them wither. Let's dig into what makes this soil what it is. A huge part of that soil, a key nutrient, is motivation. It's the simple reason you do something. It's your internal why. Are you planting a seed because you're feeling kind? Or are you planting one out of fear? That motivation directly feeds the choice you're about to make. And the soil is also affected by the weather, and that's what we can call influence. It's the power of our environment, the people we're around, the ideas we hear. Influence can be like the sunshine or the storm that completely changes the conditions for growth. So, we've planted our seed, our decision, in the soil of our motivations and influences. So what happens next? A sprout. It's the first visible sign that our choice is actually taking root and having a real effect. And we call that little sprout the impact. It's the strong, immediate effect of our choice. It's that first real result that we can actually see and feel breaking through the surface. And believe me, this connection between what you do and what you get is incredibly direct. Like when you plant the seed of truth, even when it's tough, you often see a sprout of trust. On the flip side, plant a seed of anger and you're probably going to grow some regret. And when you choose to plant kindness, the result is almost always a feeling of peace. The relationship is just crystal clear. The seed determines the sprout. A sprout, if you tend to it, grows into something much, much bigger. We've gone from the seed, to the soil, to the sprout, and now we finally arrive at the harvest. This is the final outcome, the peak of the whole process. This harvest, that's the consequence. And it's so much more than just the immediate impact. It's the full, mature result of that tiny seed you planted days, weeks, or maybe even years ago. It's the fruit of your actions, and it's pretty much inevitable. Now, this idea that our actions have predictable results, this is not new. Not at all. It's an ancient piece of wisdom captured perfectly in a simple but incredibly powerful verse that gets right to the heart of this whole process. A man reaps what he sows. That is it. Just a few simple words that contain this entire powerful metaphor. And the principle is as reliable as gravity. Whatever you plant is exactly what you are going to harvest. So in real life, this means if you're constantly planting seeds of anger, you really shouldn't be surprised when you harvest a whole field of regret. But if you consistently plant seeds of kindness, you get to cultivate a garden of peace. The harvest is always a direct reflection of the seed. And the best part? The choice of what to plant is always, always yours. So here's the crucial part. How do we actually take this metaphor and use it? This is about more than just understanding a cool concept. It's about actively cultivating the life you want to live, one single choice, one single seed at a time. Okay, so here it is, the quick guide for your own garden. First, remember, you are the gardener, and every single word and action is a seed. Second, your choices get planted in the soil of your life. Third, you get to decide what to plant: love, patience, truth, or their opposites. And finally, just know that the harvest is unavoidable.
We all reap what we sow. And all of this leaves us with one final, powerful question. Looking at the garden of your life and the day you have ahead of you, what seeds will you choose to plant today? Because the harvest of tomorrow really depends on it.